yielding under pressure, would come at a huge cost, as North Korea would no longer be able to play the role of a potentially suicidal nuclear madman to draw leverage from the international community. Pyongyang would lose its ability to blackmail neighbors in the United States as well as to control tensions on the Korean peninsula. Further, with North Korea's bluff called, the United States and China would be well equipped for the next time Pyongyang exhibits provocative behavior. Following recent missile and nuclear tests by Pyongyang, many in the international community have advocated for strong pressure on China to use its significant economic leverage to rein in Kim Jong-un. There are signs that Washington might pursue this strategy. Such an approach looks attractive to an administration. Short of good options, it is a stronger version of previously ineffective sanctions and a reasonable alternative to the use of force. But it is also very dangerous. Pyongyang is clearly striving to establish a credible nuclear deterrent against the United States to guarantee its security. For this reason, North Korea needs to conduct more nuclear and missile tests. If Beijing wants to force Pyongyang to abandon such a vital security goal, it has no other choice but to cut North Korea's economic and energy lifeline and bring its smaller neighbor to the brink of economic collapse. Such a policy would raise the prospect that the North Korean regime could fall, an outcome China fears most and one that has convinced Beijing to maintain its policy course on North Korea for some time. Smaller measures such as trade sanctions or temporary restrictions on the delivery of gas, oil and coal would hardly force Pyongyang to stop its pursuit of a nuclear deterrent. Thus, China's leverage over North Korea is very difficult to use. But were it to happen, Beijing's strangling of North Korea would immediately raise two great risks. Recommended America can't shoot down a North Korean nuke first. North Korea would likely respond to pressure with large escalation, unleashing provocations, cyber attacks and military actions on South Korea, Japan or the United States. Such actions would spark further military escalation on the Korean peninsula and raise the specter of war and North Korea's collapse. Faced with such crisis, would the United States and China continue the deadly pressure on Pyongyang as the domestic, economic, and international costs began to mount, and would they remain united? While escalation would be extremely dangerous for North Korea, it would be in line with their past actions. Pyongyang has never shied away from escalation, as demonstrated by the sinking of the Cheonan, cyber attacks on Sony and recent threats to Guam. There is also a rational argument for escalation. Yielding under pressure would come at a huge cost, as North Korea would no longer be able to play the role of a potentially suicidal nuclear madman to draw leverage from the international community. Pyongyang would lose its ability to blackmail neighbors and the United States as well as to control tensions on the Korean peninsula. Further, with North Korea's bluff called, the United States and China would be well equipped for the next time Pyongyang exhibits provocative behavior. Most important is that without escalation, North Korea would have to halt the development of its vital nuclear deterrent before it is fully operational. Recommended The Case for War with North Korea pages.